I think it's almost time to start our session. We are glad to see that so many of you joined us today. Actually, I'm not alone today. We have a great team here. I'm very proud to present Umut Konus, our program director, and he's an associate professor in marketing at our faculty. Umut, can you say hello just so that everyone can see?
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Perfect. Sometimes with Zoom webinar, it's a bit tricky. And we also have Simon and Ryan here from the admissions office who are working behind the screens to answer all your questions about the entry requirements. Maybe you can quickly say hello so everyone can see you.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Hello.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Now I give the word to Umut, our program director, who will tell you more about this excellent program.
Okay, thank you, Paula. Then I shall turn off this polling screen here. Hi, welcome everyone. So thanks for taking your time today for joining this session and for your interest to our new program. I'm Umut Konus, as Paula introduced. I'm Associate Professor of Marketing Analytics at Amsterdam Business School. And I'm also Program Director of Bachelor Business Analytics. So today I'm gonna give you a brief introduction about our new program, a little taste of our program. And after that, it will take about like half an hour roughly. After that, we shall have a Q&A session, so you can ask your questions about anything right after the presentation. So please feel free to throw your questions in the Q&A option. Okay, so let's start with, oops. Yeah. So why business analytics program? Well, of course, there are many motivations behind having such a program. But of course, primarily, business analytics deals with discovering hidden patterns and large amounts of data and business data. And also it's about prediction, building models. And by doing so, we use a lot of computers and programming, analytics, so brain power, and also knowledge from business side, from finance, marketing, accounting. So the primary goal here is to take better business decisions. So we are providing decision support to upper management, to companies, to practitioners, to managers. So why has it become so popular in the last years? Let's take a brief overview. First, now we have a lot more data than ever. As you see here, in the back in old times, like 10, 20 years ago, the data types were limited, but now we are talking about lots of data types coming from social media, from sales records, from location-based applications, a lot of data. And of course, now we have more clever algorithms and models to process this data. And we have, of course, a better processing power. So now we can use this data in a more efficient way to have better business outcomes. And again, going back to question, why this bachelor? I can give you some reasons here. So today, data-driven decision-making has become more and more important on the business side, and data is playing a crucial role here. So we are actively using data, integrating data, processing data, and analyzing data to make better business decisions. Secondary, we have new technologies. So it's AI and machine learning methods, quantum computing, cloud platforms that are all new to business practitioners, marketeers, managers, finance people. But we need to get familiar with these new technologies too, and to be able to how to use them in an efficient, in a useful way. And of course, accordingly, the business models surrounding this ecosystem is also transforming. They're also transforming. So now that we have new business models that are touching more and more to these new technologies, new data types, and new platforms. Accordingly, all this coming together, I think it gives a good idea, a good picture of why business analytics is becoming more and more important. Of course, looking a little bit after this program, of course, it's easy to imagine why this brings good job opportunities afterwards, because now there is quite a demand for such people with an expertise, a good understanding of such methods, techniques, and approach in the field of business analytics. I'd like to show you some examples on what kind of topics, issues we are busy with here at Amsterdam Business School and University of Amsterdam regarding to business analytics. Let me show you this first example. I think nowadays we are all familiar with online advertising. So you're all familiar with these advertising types like in mobile apps, videos, social media platforms. And of course, we know that these ad types are shown to particular people depending on their interests. So in this program, we teach the students how to build models to show the right ads to the right people with the right timing. So here's some little example from...
As if websites were newspapers. You'd buy the top banner at a specific site for a month, hoping to catch the eye of your target audience, praying for a few clicks along the way. A lot's changed. Today, it's about real-time bidding, or RTB. Advertisers now pay only for the impressions they want at the price they choose. It's all done automatically, in real time, with multiple buyers bidding for each impression, around the clock, on millions of sites. Lots of technology moving at blazing speeds. TLV Media makes sense of it all by analyzing billions of ad impressions a day, figuring out who's clicking on what, where, and what they did next. Our RTB engine programmatically makes over 200,000 decisions per second, analyzing over 200 parameters per user at 10 milliseconds per decision. It's the art of showing the right ads to the right folks. Watching user reactions, our algorithms evaluate the strategy, tweak the plan, check results, and start again to make it even better. How much better? We measured up to 420% better.
So I think this gives a rough idea. So it's about online advertising, but all the other issues surrounding this broad field, like pricing, timing, and the algorithms about making the content more efficient. So let's proceed further to a new example. Again, this is about marketing analytics, but it's also about web in general. So imagine people are interested in taking vacations, going to holidays. So they look at these websites. It's just one example from one of our research projects here at Amsterdam Business School. So what kind of visuals, pictures, photos, videos we need to use, we should better use to reach these people? What is it, like the natural landmarks? Is it the hotels, or is it the photos with people? So what kind of content, visual content, is more influential on people's decisions, on their behavior? And this can go even further. If you go into photo and visual processing, visual data analytics, it can also touch a bit into brightness, the contrast, the colors, and everything. Let's go a bit further. It doesn't have to be about marketing or finance or business. It can also be about public services, the governmental services. So you have one example here. You can build algorithms. You can develop algorithms, models. For example, look on the left-hand side. It's about detection of garbage on the streets, location-wise, and predicting models, developing models to better allocate the resources in terms of better managing this process. So it's also about, for example, there's another example about Airbnb here. It's about understanding better, raising some red flags, whether the rental properties are being used properly in terms of renting out. Another field we are busy with is text analytics. Of course, text analytics, text mining is a broad field, but here we have an example. It even goes towards legal contracts. So by using text analytics, you can go into legal contracts. You can check whether they are complying well, linking well with requirements or other legal documents, or whether there are some irregularities within the legal documents with practical applications. So this also uses text analytics. This is another example. It's a nice one. It's about, well, self-driving cars on the one side, but it's also about the use of artificial intelligence, touching to business ethics. So how should a self-driving car react in a life or that situation, in a situation where urgency is involved? I'd like to show you this video. So as you see, machine learning methods and artificial intelligence is a important part of our program, our educational program. So it's also about understanding the drivers, consequences, building these models, improving these models. So in this special example, this particular example, we understand or develop programs, models, how a self-driving car should better make decisions in the case of an urgency, as you see on the right-hand side. Another example is about, probably most of you are familiar with deepfakes nowadays, right? It's a very interesting topic. So it's using visual data, video data to create, of course, fake content. But of course, there are many issues, topics that could be interesting to better understand this phenomenon. For example, how this would influence people, impact their decisions. How can this be managed in a responsible and ethical way? So here's an example from our research, a very, very short video.
Dear fellow scholars, this is 2-minute papers with Dr. Károly Zsolnai Fehér. It is important for you to know that everybody can make deepfakes now. You can turn your head around, mouth movements are looking great, and eye movements are also translated into the target footage. And of course, as we always say, 2 more papers down the line and it will be even better and cheaper than this.
Okay, as you see, it's an example from one of our research studies. So it's not only about building or developing deepfakes, it's more about the consequences. What do they lead to understand this technology better? And what are the factors that has an impact on the consequences? So many, many interesting topics around this. A final example, again, algorithms. We are all familiar with these nowadays in many ways, from marketing to finance, from stock markets to operations management. In this specific example, we learn how to develop, build algorithms and to make them better. For example, in terms of pricing, there's a concept we call dynamic pricing. So it's about building algorithms which can also learn customers' preferences, or which can also decide and reshape prices depending on people's preferences and previous experience, rather than only by using competitive data. So it's also one of the interesting topics that we can learn in this program. Now I'd like to go a bit further into practical things about the program. So as you have seen some examples, and maybe they help you to better understand the content of the program. As you see, the content is also, it's multiple phases, from marketing to finance, from economics to business and ethics. So in multiple ways, the program also reflects that. So what do you learn in this program? Well, let's start first from a broader perspective. You learn basically to execute a business analytics project from start to finish. What does that mean? So when you finish this program, you first will be able to start by asking the right questions. What's the problem there? What's the business problem? What is the essential business problem that we need to solve? If you spot the right question, you can go further. Then you can easily spot what kind of data I need, and then what kind of data I should integrate from multiple sources. Then we go further. How can I collect this data, clean this data, process this data to prepare for my analysis, for my modeling, right? And then later on, it's also an important element in the program, of course, how to analyze this data by using models or algorithms. Then further, let's say you have the results, you analyze the data, how to communicate this data with other people, how to visualize it by using different data visualization techniques, right? And further, and then how can you, of course, implement in business practice? So as you see, this is a start to finish approach. Starts from asking the right questions and then ends up with implementing in business practice and monitor the outcomes further. And this is also reflected by our curriculum. We call it ABC. So A meaning analytics, B business, and C computer science. So as you see, this is a multidisciplinary program with a multidisciplinary focus, likewise. So our curriculum also reflects that. We have courses from all these three sides. On the one side, we have courses from the analytical side. I presume many students who are interested in program, they like maths and statistics and maybe econometrics. They're also interested in, so we have a lot of courses on these subject matters. And then, of course, being multidisciplinary, we have lots of courses to better understand the business side. What are these? Like finance, marketing, strategy, operations, human resources, so people analytics, economics, and business ethics and law. And as I said in the beginning, C component links with the computer science. So we are using analytics in business cases, but of course we use computer power and computer programming, coding, to conceptually develop and also then operationally develop these models. So we also have courses about programming, coding, artificial intelligence, and machine learning further in the program. And as you see, this is also visible in the program curriculum in a balanced way. So here, please take a look. The red color reflects the analytical component. Yellow color reflects the business component, and green color reflects the computer science component. As you see, in all 3 years, this is a 3-year program, we have each of these 3 components reflected in a balanced way, in a complementary and congruent way. So they complement each other nicely, being a multidisciplinary program. In year 1, you have courses on mathematics, introduction to programming, some business courses like finance, business law and ethics, and microeconomics. And then going further, 2nd year, we see again some analytical courses like operations research, econometrics, further going in mathematics. And on the business side, we have HR analytics, accounting and control. So going on to the different domains on the business side, right? Management consulting, and we still have quite a lot of computer science related courses like machine learning, algorithms and data structures in Python particularly. And year 3 is a nice year because then there's a good chance of doing the first semester either abroad or in a company internship or following some minor or electives in the faculty. So many students take one of these paths. And then further, of course, we have thesis in the end, and we have some other complementary courses from the computer science and business side, for example, marketing analytics, text mining, and etc. So as you see, this is an integrative program. We call it an integrative approach. We are integrating analytics, business, and computer science domains nicely with each other. So again, this is a program where theory meets with practice. So we have a focus on the theory, but also on the applied side. Since it's business analytics, it's a very applied field. One of our strengths is we have a very broad network of companies on the corporate side. So we have many guest lectures from different companies, different corporations, industry experts on different fields, which I'm going to show in a later slide. And then another strength of our program, we have quite a lot of opportunities to follow a part of the program abroad in an exchange program. So there are many partner universities in different countries. And likewise, since we have a broad company network, of course, there is a wide assortment of internship opportunities in different fields, depending on your interest. This could either be a company, but as well be a governmental institution or a nonprofit institution or even municipalities. Of course, for those who want to go even further, there are also opportunities in terms of following a master program. So on the one side, we are also working on the master program in business analytics at UvA. So this will be one option. The other option will be, of course, there are many, but there's a nice research master program in business data science offered by Timbergen Institute. So nice, high quality master program options are available after this bachelor program of business analytics. So these are some examples from our company network, from our business network. So what does that mean? So it's not something just on the paper. So these companies, we collaborate in many ways. Like they provide guest lectures, talks during our lectures. They provide business cases. Sometimes there are joint research projects. Sometimes it's a good basis for internship or just working on your thesis in the later stage. So we cooperate in many ways. As you see, there are companies like Booking.com, which is headquartered in the Netherlands, and many others, Google, Vodafone, for example, it's not here, but we cooperate closely. So many companies. But then you may ask, why should we study at the University of Amsterdam or in Amsterdam as a city? But of course, since many of you are here, so that means it's a good sign you're already interested in doing that. But let me give you some more concrete reasons. So first, UvA is a very good university. So in terms of rankings, we have a very high ranking, both in the Netherlands and also in Europe, but also worldwide, according to the different rankings. Second, Amsterdam, it's a nice city to live in. I don't know, many of us, maybe some of you already live in Amsterdam, maybe most of you not. But it's in terms of quality of life, it's ranked 11th worldwide. Of course, it depends on rankings. And it's a very multicultural city. Also here at the university, we have lecturers, professors, students from all countries, from different cultures, different continents. And beyond that, our university has very excellent student facilities, so which means we have study advisors for students, a very good library, access to most academic databases, student career advice, and also social, of course, facilities that you can enjoy. Of course, I can imagine many of you are waiting for this slide because on the one side, of course, we study for many reasons, but primarily many of us study for the jobs that we want to do after graduation. Well, luckily, fortunately, for business analytics experts, business analysts, there is a high demand in the job market. So you can choose to work in many different domains. Of course, multinational companies, technology companies, high-tech companies. It's a broad field for our students. Consultancies and research firms, research institutions. Of course, financial institutions, banks, pension funds, insurance companies, they have a high demand for students who know how to analyze data, how to work with data, but also has a business knowledge, which we teach in this program. So people who know both analytics, computer programming, but also finance and economics. So there's a high demand. Governmental institutions, municipalities, government, but of course it's always an option to start up your own firm as a spin-up or a startup. But the good news is for business analysts, almost 90% of students have a job within 6 months after graduation, and more than half have a permanent contract 1 year after graduation, which is, I think, a promising number. When can you enter this program? Of course, you may be asking already some questions on this. Our admission officers are here, so please go ahead if you have specific questions now or later, of course. But just briefly, first, before timing, what do you need? Well, first, I think many students who are interested in this program, they also have an interest in mathematics, maths, okay? So not surprisingly, a Dutch VWO diploma, that's for Dutch students with mathematics B certificate, is a requirement to enter this program. Beyond that, if you're an international student, of course, they might be asking for an equivalent. Then you can check this with admissions office, and there's also detailed information provided on our website. So please, you can go and visit the website. Then you will find detailed explanations there in many ways. But of course, since we have lots of international students and we expect a lot of international applications, we are prepared for that. So there are clearly defined guidelines on who can apply, how and when. Another important question, which is hard to give accurate information. Of course, we are very well prepared in online teaching. We do it well, but of course, we also love offline teaching. We love to be in class. So of course, that depends on governmental regulations. So how the situation improves, but as long as it's possible, as long as we are allowed to do so, we will start teaching on campus. But timing, well, we shall see. During this time, during this transition period, well, certain courses will be online, can be online, so we can manage them online. At some point, hybrid teaching will be an option, so where you can have the option to follow a course online or offline. But the plan is, starting from next year, September, please prepare to be here in Amsterdam, okay? Because this is the plan. Of course, we will have all the facilities to conduct online teaching, but we plan to go back on campus. So please, if you want to follow this program, be prepared to be in Amsterdam starting from and after September 2021. But of course, you can follow the updates from the link I provided here. Then UvA provides regular updates on Corona and the teaching formats. Summarizing why this program is maybe a good choice for you. First, primarily, if you are interested in mathematics, topics like machine learning, artificial intelligence, computer programming. But in the meanwhile, if you're also interested in business, finance, marketing, human resources, this is a good program, multidisciplinary program for you that brings all these elements together in an integrative way, that you can enjoy. Second, of course, also in terms of opportunities to go abroad at some point, at certain point, like in third year, there are good, we have good opportunities, so you can go abroad and do an exchange semester in another university in a different country. We have good internship opportunities in our broad network of companies, business partners. Third, of course, I mentioned Amsterdam is a good city to live in. It's a very nice city. It's a very multicultural city. It's also reflected in the university. Further, UvA is a very good university in terms of rankings, reputation, and the facilities. And finally, last but not the least, for those who want to go further, there are nice chances to go further and pursue a master program afterwards. It could either be here or like in research master in Tinbergen Institute. So there are different alternatives for following a master program. So if so far you like the program in its basics and you want more information, well, what you can do, of course, first, you can ask your questions now. We are all here as a team. As I see now, our dean has also joined. Admission officers are here. Marc, hello, welcome. So you can ask your questions now. We will have another half an hour to answer your questions. Our website is full of content. It can answer most of your questions. Paulo may also share some additional links with you. And we also update this content, online content, as long as we know more on this. Plus, of course, you can always get in touch by email, by phone, or by Q&A session now. So I think we are now at this Q&A session, at the start of this Q&A session. So thanks for listening so far. And Paula, I think we may have received some questions already, right?
Yes, thank you, Umut, for the excellent presentation. I almost wished I was a student again and could follow the program, but unfortunately that's not possible. But we did receive a number of questions. And first of all, you already said it, I'm very glad that Marc Salomon, our Dean of the Amsterdam Business School, joined us as well. A warm welcome to Marc, and he's also here to answer your questions. We will start right away. Just a heads up, the specific admissions questions will be answered in the chat, so I won't read those out loud. The first question is from Gagana with 24 likes. How many students are you planning to accept? Marc, could you maybe say something about that?
Yeah, I would say as many students as possible. Although all the students must, of course, satisfy the admission criteria. But at the moment, we don't have a particular bound on the number of students in this program. Just, yeah, rather tight and strict admission requirements.
Thank you for that. The next question with 22 likes, a lot of people are curious to hear when the program will be available on StudyLink. Umut, could you say something about that, please?
As far as I know, it will be in a very short time, in maybe 2 weeks, if I'm correct. So it will be available on StudyLink very soon.
Excellent, yes. And you can also, there's like a keep me informed link. I shared some links in the chat with all of you to the program page, but also to the open house web page where the recording of this session will be posted. So please save the links for that. The next question is from Hilla. How does this program differ from other business analytic programs in other universities? Marc, I think I would like to give that one to you.
Yeah, there are, of course, also other business analytics programs. There is one at VU, for instance, It is part of the mathematics department, so it will be many courses are around mathematics, and there will be fewer courses about business. That is the first remark. And the second remark is that the master program, which follows after the bachelor, is a 2-year program. Instead, our master program, which is a 1-year program. But it is in the first point is probably more important point. Being part of a mathematics department means that there are not so many people that are teaching business courses. The business courses will be restricted to some finance courses, some marketing courses, and some courses in operations, while we offer the broad collection of all business courses.
Thank you so much, Marc. I think that's really good to hear, actually. The next question is from Sonia. How does the business analytics program, why is business analytics better than data science? Umut, can I give that one to you? Or maybe Marc wants to say something as well, so you can fill each other.
Probably we do it together.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, I'm working in the field since a very long time. And for me, there is not so much difference between the two. Except the application area, like data science is a more general term for a collection of techniques that you apply in a certain field. So data science can also apply to healthcare or so. While our program, business analytics, is for me the application of data science to business topics. And so it's a little more restricted to the business area, while data science, as you see it in some computer science and mathematics departments, apply to a broad range of topics.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I just agree with that. Marc explained very well. Yes, data science is a much broader concept. Of course, we have an integrative program, ABC, but business side, we are particularly interested in linking the analytical side with the business side. So we are more focusing on the business applications.
Thank you so much. Just a small remark from me. I just shared a link in the chat. If you click on that, you can register, and then you will get an email when study link is open. So for all of you that are really interested and keen in joining this program, I would advise you to save that link that I just shared. The next question is from Trang. Is Python the only programming language taught in this course, and how will we approach it? Umut, I would like to give that to you.
Can I take the question again?
I'm sorry. It's about the programming languages that are taught in this program, and if Python is the only one, and how it's going to be approached throughout the course.
I get the question. Look, it's a nice question. Of course, there are many analytical environments, programming languages, but Python is currently the one that that's being used in a broader field. So it's commonly accepted in many fields. So many data scientists are familiar with. So of course, the main focus will be on Python on the C side. But of course, we can't say that it's going to be the one and only one. But I can say the main focus will be on Python from different perspectives.
Yeah, probably I could add one more sentence to that. Of course, you learn Python, but also you learn data structures. And data structures is more conceptual, how you program. And once you understand data structures, you could easily learn Python, but also many other languages. So our courses are around data structures and then applied to a certain language. And we have chosen Python, and in some courses we will also use R. But data structures is the main thing that we are teaching. And as I said, once you know data structures, you could also program in C++ or in any other language that you want. In most other languages that you want. There are some languages that are very specific, but for many languages this holds. Is once you understand data structures, you could, if you learn the syntax, you could easily learn a language.
Thank you, Marc. That's really good to hear. The next question is about the kind of masters you can apply to after this bachelor. Umut already said something about that during the presentation, but maybe we can just repeat it very briefly so that everyone knows it.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Sure. Of course, there are different options, alternatives after this program. Primarily, we are working on business analytics master program here. So it will be a nice continuation after accreditation. But of course, a graduate from this bachelor program can also apply to different master programs that are aligned with our program. A nice example is, again, research master in business data science, for example, in Tinbergen Institute, or there are other business analytics related master programs within the Netherlands. These can also be other alternatives. Yeah.
Thank you for that. The next question is about the kind of research that students can do during the bachelor, and if it's possible to join, for example, professors' research projects. Umut, I just gave you the word. Maybe I can give it to Marc now too, so we have a bit of a switch. Marc, is that okay for you? Oh, you're still on mute.
Mute.
Oh, Marc, you're still on mute.
I'm back.
Yes, now you're back. Thank you.
Yes, I would say in the bachelor program, we have very nice smaller assignments, and they are not really research projects of professors. They are more projects that you are doing under supervision of a professor. In the master's program, that is different. In the master's program, you could, for instance, approach a professor and tell him about what you like to do, and then do more or less a smaller research project together with him or her. And so these joint research projects are larger projects, are more part of the master program. In the bachelor, it's smaller and more structured engagements. Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that. The next question is from a student who listened really well to your presentation, Umut. This one is wondering what the course Entrepreneurship Hackathon is all about. Could you maybe say a bit more about that?
I'll pass this to Marc because
Okay.
I know he's
yeah. It's I'm running this. It's one of my favorites. This course. I'm running it also in other programs, and the last one that I did with students was with TomTom, the manufacturer of autonomous car software. And there we programmed with a number of students an autonomous car. So there was a small autonomous car, and the idea was program that. Now that kind of engagements are part of this entrepreneurship hackathon. The idea is start your own business based on technology and make something together with a group of students. And so yeah, the idea is make something nice like an autonomous car or something else that you like to make using technology, AI technology, econometrics or optimization technology. And then the idea is pitch this idea to investors in your own company. And yeah, some students in my MBA program start their own business. It doesn't happen so often, but from time to time it happens that the students continue after this challenge and start their own program. And as a university, we support that very much. You get office space from the university to do this, and also coaching. So that is the idea of the entrepreneurship hackathon.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Let's make a little addition onto that. Like Marc very well explained, in this program, in this multidisciplinary program, different sections contribute according to their expertise. For example, entrepreneurship and hackathon is a good example. This program is provided by our professors from entrepreneurship and innovation section. So each course, likewise, many courses will be given by professors who are expert in their fields, depending on whether it's a business or a computer science course or analytics. Yeah.
Yeah, the point that you want to make is that here is one of the occasions where everything comes together. Business courses, computer science courses, and analytics courses.
Exactly, yeah.
Very nice. Thank you for clarifying that, and such a nice team effort also. And very inspiring, this hackathon, actually, also to me. The next question is from Enrique. What technologies are used in the computer science and analytics portion of the program? Umut, could I give that to you?
What do you mean by technologies?
Oh, yeah, I didn't ask the questions. I don't know, maybe Enrique, if you are still here.
Maybe would you explain a little bit about, on the one side, computer programming, on the other side, large infrastructures, AI, the different computer science topics.
I take the question as like techniques, methods, and approach. Of course, that are touching to technologies. Like Marc said, on the one side, it's the programming component. So it's from introduction to programming to further advanced in programming, mainly Python. But as Marc said, since you also specialize in data structures, and some of you may know, if you're able to work with Python, it's quite easy. You're also able to work with R or MATLAB or some other programming languages. But of course, it's not limited with that. So we have also specialized course in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and mentioning technologies. I need to mention also text mining and text retrieval, because text data is huge. It's unstructured data. So on the one side, we also learn and teach how to deal with text data, large amounts of text data. So these are some examples of that component. Yeah.
Thank you, Umut, for clarifying that. Then we have another question. What is the ratio of business courses to math and programming courses? I think Marc wants to answer that one.
I think two important notions. One is that we try to make a kind of balanced program where, you would say it's all about 1/3. And the other thing is, and that's very important, and that is what Umut also just said, we have also many integrative courses, where all the three come together, not only in the thesis project, but in the hackathon, in the entrepreneurship hackathon, but also in many other courses, like in the course on quantitative marketing. There you must be able to program things, you will touch marketing, and you will touch optimization. So many of these courses are bring these things together, and that's an important notion, I think, with this question. And for the rest, I could say it's about 1/3 to 1/3 to 1/3.
Thank you for that. The next question is from Hila. Are we also going to create moral machines or advanced technologies in this course? I'm not sure which one of you wants to take that question. Maybe Marc?
I don't understand it completely. Could you repeat it?
Oh, I'm sorry. The question is if it's possible to create moral machines or other advanced technologies during the course. I think maybe she refers to the program.
Moral machines is, of course, interesting. to really create moral machines. That's probably more part of a Bachelor in Artificial Intelligence. But we look into moral machines, like in our ethics and law courses, and we see and we analyze and we discuss. It's also a matter of a lot of discussion, how we, what we think about them, and what the role is in society of them, what we fear, how we could deal with them. So, really building one. I mean, probably students could do it with the knowledge that they have, but it's more part of an, I would say, AI or software engineering program at computer science.
Thank you for clarifying that. But I do get the main message that you do get a lot of really relevant knowledge during this program. So that's really, really great.
You get a lot of software engineering knowledge also here. So in theory, you could build it, but for us, it will not be an objective in the courses to build one, but we will discuss them.
Nice, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And the next question is from Uma about the job opportunities. So would you say that the job opportunities for business analytics are the same for those who study econometrics, or is there a difference? I think maybe again, Marc, or Umut, would you?
I would say business analytics is a modernized version of econometrics. And I would say in this program, you will learn the traditional econometric methods so that you know the basis about econometrics, but we will go beyond that and also learn the students to apply it in business areas, but we'll also learn the students how to work in AI and deep learning techniques. And that's something that you don't learn in classical econometrics. And many companies like Google, Facebook, LinkedIn are looking for people that can make the combination, the modern methods, but also the application areas. And I would say, especially in this modern companies like LinkedIn, Microsoft, Windows, the demand for people with this kind of studies and AI studies is even larger than econometrics students. But econometrics is, of course, also a very good study. I can also recommend that very much to students, but I think this is the modern version of it.
Thank you so much for clarifying that. I think I would suggest maybe one more question plenary, because I see that there are a couple of very specific questions left, so we can have a last one together, and then we will answer the rest in the chat. And just for those of you who still have questions about admissions or about the entry requirements, I saw that my colleague from the admissions office shared a couple of really useful links in the chat. So please have a look at the chat before you leave and copy all the links that you need about admissions and the open house, and also to register for a study link. So make sure you get everything you need. The last question maybe, that one I will slightly rephrase it, because we did hear a lot about data science and how much you learn about data science. There is a student wondering, is there any part of data science that you don't learn or that you would be missing if you don't do this program? Or would you say this gives you the most out of data science that you can get? Umut, could I give that to you?
It's a good question. Well, you can learn many things about data science. You can learn the fundamental things about data science, for sure. But as Marc previously emphasized, data science is broader. So when it comes to applications of data science, we shall then focus on the business side. So business applications of data science. So for example, medical services, or let's say, if you go into a bit towards industrial engineering side, transportation, logistics, well, the rules, the methods, techniques, we mostly use it, learn it, teach it. But when it comes to applications, we stay focused on the business side.
Thank you so much for clarifying that. And Marc? I think you want to
I
add
don't
something?
have much to know. I don't want to add something.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking now we only have a couple of minutes left and there's still some questions. Yeah, Umut?
I just want to add one little thing. I
Of
forgot
course.
to mention that in the last slide, on 8th of April, there will be if you want to get a bit of more taste of the program, 8th of April, there will be an experience session, taster session. So 8th of April between 4 to 5 o'clock. So you will have chance to listen a sample lecture. So I just want to say that.
No, excellent, Umut. I've been meaning to say that as well, but I forgot. So thank you for remembering all the details. I just shared the link again in the chat for the open house. There you can register for the experience day, which is a really great chance to see how it looks like education and experience that firsthand. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. We will now stay and answer the questions in the chat. But I don't know if Umut or Marc would like to say some concluding words. It was a pleasure to have you all here, even though I couldn't see you, and I hope you all sign up for our amazing program. But something else to add from one of you?
Yeah, of course, that we are very much looking forward to start the program, and that we are very much looking forward to have you as students of this program. And on behalf of Umut also, I would like to, and Paula, I want to thank you for your attention and your time here.
Likewise, thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.